Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with the career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I encourage individuals to live smart and ascend to new levels of work life success. Today, I have the pleasure of connecting with Rashid. So, Rashid scheduled to be a guest months ago, but in the time that he was waiting, he sent me a photo of himself that actually talked about him ascending already. So I look forward to learning more about his experience. So let's bring him to the screen. Aloha, Rashid.
Aloha goddess.
Well, thank you so much for being open to have an all intuitive conversation with me today. So, you and I have never spoken before. This is the first time that we're connecting and meeting. And you are very much a clean slate because I have my guests to come through on LinkedIn just because that's where I want to talk with career professionals in this whole
Right.
spiritual journey they may be beginning. But you sent me a photo of yourself that talked
Yeah.
about how you kind of had this moment of ascension. So, with that, I'm going to start there. Tell me about that photo you sent me.
Yeah. After I had gotten my certification as a holistic life coach, when I finally got certified, I remember feeling this huge shift in my entire state of being, and just the amount of energy that I could feel coming off of me, and the amount of love that I could feel coming off of me. And I was at work. I was sitting in my office, and I felt this huge wave of love hit me, and I was just like, I want to capture this, and I want to see if other people can feel that. And so, I took a couple of pictures, and I really loved the way that my eyes came out in that one. And I was just like, I want people to look in my eyes and tell me what they feel,
Yes.
And I got some amazing responses too. You know,
Well, I'm sure you did because I didn't respond because, like I said, he's gonna be a guest, and so it was like
yeah,
it's not meant for me to connect with him. Yeah, but like I said, I did receive that photo, and it's interesting because the first card that came out here talks about the ego, and what's interesting to me is the woman that is being released unchained is blindfolded and you're not able
yeah.
to see that her eyes at that time. But the fact that you kind of just mentioned that in this whole releasement of an experience you had. And here's what it says on the card. The illusion of being trapped. Accept responsibility for your situation and then make choices that support your path to happiness, addictions, or unhealthy habits. So tell me, what was it that you released in order to have your
Oh
energy?
my goodness!
What was it
You
that
know,
you
it 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 had to be this childhood belief that people, someone that grew up in the area that I did, because I was born in East Oakland, California, in the '80s when crack hit the projects.
oh
So I came from what was basically a war zone, and there was so much chaos around me, and so just the idea that somebody who could come from that could be a person that could teach other people how to live their lives, and just all of the things that I've been through in my time, just you have all of this imposter syndrome and all of these things that come
mhm.
up, like, and being able to do it and following through with it, that was a big deal.
Yes. So the next card that came here has to do with the solar plexus, and I'm noticed. I'm like, I'm wearing this yellow today. Um, but the theme of this talks about processing, and literally the trigger statement says, "I'm so worried," and I'm very familiar with the whole imposter
Yeah,
syndrome and the self doubt and the worries that you have that you're going to be found out that you're a fraud.
yeah.
But here's what the true statement says: I have the solution. Slowing down and listening to your inner voice will provide you with direction and purpose. So, you said that you were at work when you kind of had this awakening. Tell me more about what you do.
So that's the unique thing. My 9 to 5 job is very different from my normal personality because I work for a defense contractor, and so I'm a production supervisor for a company that makes practice rounds for the military.
Uh-huh.
I used to be in the military, and
Well, thank you for your service.
that was something that when I got out, and I was still very much a big part of the weapons and everything. I really love that, and I found that I was really great at leadership. And even though I had never had any experience in production at all, the people took a chance on me just from knowing who I was. And I've been there 8 years, and that's like another family.
Well, the next card that came out here was the theme of motivation. And just like how you said, the trigger statement says, I don't know where to start. So it's like, even though you didn't have this experience in that field, it was like, where do I go from here? And the oil for this one is encouraging. So the true statement says, I take action now. You will find clarity and the ability to create now. This is your time to make things happen. So both of your cards are talking about having a solution and then you're taking action. So you said you're 9 to 5, but I'm seeing here on the transformation coach. So do you encourage individuals to take action in some type of way?
Absolutely, absolutely, because knowing is synonymous with action, and so when you have this knowing about yourself or what you are capable of or what you can do, you actually do it. You don't think about it. You just do it. It's one of those things like if you drop something on the floor, you don't come up with this whole big plan on how you're going to pick it up. You know you can, and so you do those things. And so many times we get caught in just this idea of how it's going to be and what it can be and all of this. And it's like just take that step, like just
Mm.
take that first step so that the universe can see that you are actually about that life and so that it can step back towards you.
Mm. So, how did you get into coaching?
I've been somebody since I was like in elementary school that has been someone giving people advice and someone listening to people. And I grew up as a male that was very in touch with my emotions. I had an open heart chakra pretty much from the jump, and so the vast majority of all of my friends have been women and females, and so I always got to listen to the things that they were going through, and I would give advice to them, and then it just started building and building. And when I had my spiritual awakening, I started working on myself, and I started seeing so many changes in the way that I felt and
Yes.
the way that I saw life and the way that people responded to me. And then my marriage started improving, and my wife, she started healing. And then I started taking those things that I had been working with myself and my family and started instilling those with my friends. And then my friends started getting better. And I was like, okay, there's definitely a process here that's working. And so I decided that I wanted to hone in on those skills. And so I decided to get certified, as a holistic life coach and a mind body practitioner, just so people can completely understand how much their thoughts actually affect their lives and how powerful their mind actually is.
So of course you're still rating that energy because next came out here was the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is the ultimate epiphany of being in control of your emotions because it has to do with the water flow and emotions. And so of course, in the background is what you have this whole water theme sunset with the blues and the yellows. And so it's just
Yeah,
like being in control of the emotions. But then also you were talking about your wife and the family and how you
yeah,
you took care of yourself first and then that relayed over into your marriage. And here's what it says: a happy marriage, happily ever after, emotional contentment, a loving relationship with your children, raising children wisely and successfully, people you can trust. And so when you went back to saying how you were younger and you were this kid and individuals,
yeah.
that you were just giving advice, people could trust what you have to say. And so I know that names very much embody who we are. So the next question that's coming through is, Rashid, do you know the meaning of your name?
I do. My first name means rightly guided, and my middle name, which is a mod, it means to praise or praiser.
Indeed. And so that was the way that I was definitely connecting with you. And so when I came up here, it says good judgment, ideal to have for honor in religious um, results, like in your life. And so it's very much connected to religion. So that explains to me why most of the cards that I selected for you had a religious kind of tone for that. So with that, tell me, where does religion fit into your life?
Oh wow. So that is a really, really huge part of my entire being. So like my life path number is a 33. And
Mm.
and I have always grown up like my first nickname was Buddha by my family, and and people told my mom that I had the shine in church, and when I was 16, I found Taoism and I fell in love with Taoism because it talked about the more you improved yourself, the closer you were to God. And that made so much sense to me, and how it connected you to nature and to flow with life. And it was so beautiful to me. And since then, as I've gone into my spiritual journey and whatnot, I just started pouring myself into different spiritual texts and different things from channelings and from tarot and all kind of things, and just just getting this huge database of information for me to really form my own belief system about. And from that, it just really came down to like it's about love, period. you know
And what did you say your life number was?
33.
So the card that came out was 33. And this is the Archangel Carabel. And guess what the concept and theme of this angel is?
What is
Illumination.
that? Yeah.
It says where it says, this is what it says about this message for this angel. It says, again, the yellow, it says, message, do not delay. The time has come to share of your light. Be unafraid to speak your truth, for there are many who will benefit from your message. It says
Mm,
here, Carabel is a powerful archangel. Unlike the classic pictures of chubby flying babies, cherubs actually have four faces, that of a lion, an eagle, an ox, and a human, which point to each of the four directions on the compass. The name cherub means wisdom. Remember the guiding light
yeah.
that you said that you already embody means wisdom. And Carabel's name specifically means the flames which dance around the throne of God. So 33, life path, illumination.
Yeah. That brought tears, because my wife gave me a message the other day, and she said that I'm supposed to write a book that helps people on the ascension journey. And I ended up getting the title for the book when I was laying in bed the other night, and I already started on it. I already have like the introduction, and everything has been telling me to to share the wisdom that I have to help guide people. So you know, yeah,
Confirmation.
confirmation.
Take action. Remember I told you before earlier, your
Yeah,
angels is letting
yeah.
you know
Take action.
what is the action. So Rashid, the next question is coming through is that when are you going to release this book? Give me a date.
Summer 2025 at the latest.
Okay. Summer 2025 at the
Yeah.
latest. And until then, so the mudra. that you have been given to help you as you're meditating and you're thinking about this?
I'm I'm sitting here like this right now. uh yeah, Hemi, yeah, get both sides of the brain working together. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's where I'm at. That's yeah,
That's your
that's
mudra.
dope.
And
That's
again,
dope.
and
I've
again,
been here like that the whole time.
well, there it is. There's your mudra. And it says this mudra synchronizes the two halves of the brain, activates one's
Yeah,
memory, improves one's ability to absorb and reproduce knowledge in exam situations, for instance, and is good for the lungs as well. So,
yeah.
as you're writing that book, continue with that hand mudra. Continue to go forth in this direction, in this guidance. Like I said, you're already on this life path. This angel is with you. I look forward to you texting me or messaging me on LinkedIn and tell me when this book is going to be out.
Absolutely.
So, Rashid, thank you so much for being open to this all intuitive conversation. For individuals that want to connect with you and they want to get on that email waiting list so that you can send out
Yeah.
updates as to how your book process is going, where can people reach you?
So you can reach me at www.lovingtransformation369.com. And when you go on there, the top left corner, it has all the links for all of my socials that's on there. Um, I'm on YouTube under Rashid Coltrane Coleman. Um, I'm on Instagram, Coltrane870. I'm on TikTok at Coltrane870.
Yes.
All of those things are definitely on my website though. So yes, that's how you
Awesome.
can get a hold of me.
Wonderful. Thank you for again being open to having this all intuitive conversation with me. If you have been watching this video, you may have related to some of these cards as well. I have found that the spirit not only reaches the guest, but can reach you right where you are. And I do hope that you have been encouraged as well to live smart and ascend to new levels of work life success. If you're interested in being an actual guest on the show, reach out to me on LinkedIn messages, and you can learn more at All Intuitive Conversation. And until we meet again, this has been All Intuitive Conversation.